Now, I was talking about the chimping out. I put the link in for y'all to call in, but I wanted to talk about this also. We was talking about how a lot of Caucasian people are now liking the term chimping out, and they are using it regularly against people, black people in particular, who are fighting or who are doing anything that they deem as negative, ghetto, all of the above, right? And in addition to talking about the ones that are fighting online, they have also resulted to just using the term just to talk about black people in general. So the Shade Room covered this, and also um this young lady was going viral. She is the daughter of renowned attorney Charles Mathis of Atlanta. And she posted, hold on, she posted a story time about a racist company she encountered while she was online. Now, here's what she said.
But I actually have time today. I had an interview this morning with a company called Nexish, and I just want you guys to know that this company is so disrespectful and
Hold on, I got the speed up. Hold on. Do I have it on 0? Oh no, I have it on 1. Hold on. She's just talking fast. Okay, Allison Mathis Jones said she received an email from an HR manager addressing her as a chimp. And she said, receiving that in 2026 is wild. There is a long and ugly history of comparing black people to monkeys and apes. Whether he wants to pretend otherwise or not, calling a black woman a chimp isn't just unprofessional, it's racist. This is a reminder of what so many women listen. Wasn't I just preaching about this the other day? So many women, and especially black women, are navigating in the workforce every day. We're told to network, put ourselves out there, advocate for ourselves, and pursue better opportunities. But too often, the moment we exercise our right to choose what's best for us, we're labeled difficult, ungrateful, unprofessional, or worse. The job market is already exhausting. The expectation that women, especially black women, should be grateful for whatever opportunity is placed in front of us is wild. We deserve opportunities where professionalism is mutual and respect isn't conditional. Okay. Experiences like this are exactly why I've been leaning harder into building something of my own. Yes, Allison, because nobody gets to decide my worth, my value, or my future except me. So while some people are busy sending racist emails, I'll be over here building a business. Funny how what was meant to discourage me just gave me another reason to keep going. Now, I'm gonna play it.
blatantly racist. Interview was scheduled for 11 a.m. I had to move some things around, but I logged on right at 11. The person interviewing me logged on at about 11:02, didn't have their camera on, and as soon as we got on, was like, "Hey, sorry, I'm actually away from the office right now. Is there any way that we can move your interview an hour?" I was like, "Oh, hey, so sorry. I actually have to pick up my kids in an hour. Like, this was the only time today that worked for me." I'm like, "What about later in the week?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, like maybe tomorrow. Like, what's your availability tomorrow?" I checked my schedule, and I actually didn't even really have availability tomorrow, to be honest. I was like, "You know what? Don't worry about it. Like, I'll reschedule on the Calendly link. Like, don't worry about it. Thanks so much." Look at the email that the HR manager for this company just sent me. How disheartening as a black woman looking for a job is it that companies are still so blatantly disrespectful and so racist? I usually don't do things like this. However, I've been burned so many times looking for a job in this job market just by people being scammers, by things like this. And I just felt impelled to share. This is why I am heavy in this entrepreneur life, starting my own business. Story time.
Now I
I
want to
usually don't
show
do this,
you.
but I actually have time
I
today.
want to.
I had an
Oh,
interview this
hold
morning
on.
with
I
a company
stopped it.
called Nexish, and
Lord,
I just want you guys to know that this company is
hold on,
so
hold on, hold
disrespectful
on.
and
There it is.
blatantly racist.
Okay. Now, I wanted to share with y'all the emails. Hold on. Here's one of them. Let me open them all. Um, okay, there's 3, and there is number 4. Okay, so um she was looking for a job. She told the gentleman that I guess she told him that she had another opportunity elsewhere and decided against it. And so instead of, being gracious about it, this person said this. Don't waste our time again. Okay. And said, "Dear Chimp." Y'all see this? Hold on. Let me go back. Can't even find it. And it said, "Dear Chimp, you showed up to an interview just to say you're not interested. What a clown. Impressive waste of everyone's time. Next time you feel like playing these games, don't. Never reach out to us again, ever. No regards." And this was allegedly from someone in the HR department. Okay. Now, they also sent, hold on, when she responded to, she reported the person, and somebody responded to her with this. Oh no, I got too many tabs open. They responded to her with this. It's a mess, ain't it? They can get sued. They responded to her to this with this. Okay. And comparing her to a gorilla. Okay. And this was from, and she showed that it was actually from someone at the company, right? That she had been communicating with. Then after she went viral online when she told her story, someone who said that they were a manager responded and said this. A mess. It is a whole mess, honey. And said this. From Allison. Oh, to Allison from Ethan Carter. "We're truly sorry. This is supposed to be a letter from their CEO. I'm writing to you personally, not as a formality." This is all Chat GPT, chat. "But because what happened to you matters deeply to me and everyone at Nexish. First and foremost, I'm sorry. What you experienced was wrong. It was unacceptable, and you did not deserve any of it. No one should ever be made to feel less than what they are, and you are valued, blah, 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 blah." Then he claims that the person, Jacob Jones, was terminated effective immediately. His behavior was not a reference of him. And then they asked for a request. They said, "I want to make a simple request. The posts currently on your social media, while I understand why they exist, would you delete these, please? Would you delete them posts, please?" So I guess they felt that, because they apologized, that she was going to delete the post. Now here's the other half. Is that the other half? No, that's the top half. Hold on. That is, I thought that was the bottom. Let me share. I think I had a bottom queued up. Is that? Nope, I don't have the bottom. But anyway, they were asking if she would please delete the social media post. Because it says, "I want to make one sincere request. The posts currently on your social media, while I completely understand why they exist, are now causing damage to a company that has taken full responsibility and acted swiftly. The fault lies with one individual, not with Nexish as a whole. I humbly ask that you consider removing these posts now that justice has been served and a public apology is on record. Every door at Nexish remains open to you. We would be honored to have you back in any capacity on your terms whenever you feel ready. Thank you for your bravery, Allison. You made us better." Blah, 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 blah. And so Allison went forward, and she also, yeah, I'm not removing anything. So she shared with her social media platform, an update. Hold on.
HR manager for
So
the
here
company.
is her update.
Yesterday, an manager called me a chimp during the process of a job interview. Let's talk about what you should do if you ever experience racism, discrimination, or harassment during your job search. First off, I have to say that for those of you who don't follow me or know my background, my dad was actually a prominent entertainment and civil rights attorney here in Atlanta. The very first thing that I did was contact my attorney, and that's absolutely the first thing that you should do too. Even if you are not actually planning to pursue legal action, it just doesn't hurt to know your options and know what's available to you Information is power. Second of all, document everything. Save all the messages and the emails, take the screenshots, write down the dates and the times and the details while they're fresh on your mind, because if you do pursue legal action, you do not know what you may need to reference later. Third, guys, you don't have to suffer in silence. Tell someone, talk to a mentor, a trusted friend, a career coach, another professional, the internet, anyone, someone that can help you process what happened and remind you that someone else's ignorance is not a reflection of your value. People were wondering why I came to the internet, and honestly, it was me kind of processing and venting. The problem is not you. The problem is that there are still people in positions of power who think that behavior like this is acceptable. And for me, sharing just kind of helped me to cope. Unfortunately, that's why conversations like this still matter. Share your story. It's yours to share. Yesterday, and
share your story. It's yours to share. It don't matter if it's now, later, 10 years from now, tomorrow. Share your story. And here is her final update. Let me see.
I thought that I was done talking about this, but after sharing my experience, I was honestly surprised by how many people accuse me of lying and making this whole thing up. Why would I do that? Here are the receipts. On Tuesday, an HR manager representative from Nexish called me a chimp during what was supposed to be a job interview process. The video that I posted sharing about that took off almost immediately. Then yesterday, I received what appeared to be a personal apology from the company's CEO. The email basically said that they had addressed the whole situation and wanted me to take down my post. At first glance, it kind of seemed like this was the end of the story, but I was still kind of on board with moving forward with my attorney. When we started digging, though, that's where things started to get super weird. I had seen a couple people post that this could be a scam, and what we found is that Nexish appears to be a totally fictitious company. The CEO is not a real person. The people associated with the company are not real people. In other words, there's a very, very, very real possibility that this entire operation was just created by someone hiding behind a computer screen, pretending to be a legitimate employer. What this means is that there was probably never a real job opportunity at all. Now, let me back up for just a minute. I've been job hunting since January. I'm a content creator. I work with tons of brands. I also have a content creation company, but I was kind of looking to go in-house with someone. So I've made it to tons of final rounds of interviews. And in April, I was actually burned by a job opportunity that turned out to be a scam. And so I decided to kind of stop actively applying and focus on continuing to build my own business. However, I had already submitted a handful of applications. And so when interview opportunities, continue to arise, I'm like, I might as well take the calls. Nexish was one of these. I applied for that job through LinkedIn. I received the invitation to interview via email, and I scheduled through Calendly. I logged on for the interview. As I said, the interviewer was not on the camera, asked me to reschedule for later that day. I did not have availability for later that day. And that is where this whole thing kind of continued, with me receiving the email and being called a chimp. That is how all of this started. Now, unfortunately, because there doesn't appear to actually be a legitimate company at all, there is not much of a legal case for me to pursue. However, there is still something that we can do. If you come across Nexish, like their LinkedIn page, anything like that, I would encourage you to report it, because whether this was a scam, a fake company, or simply someone just trying to prey on and harass job seekers, people that are looking for work deserve better. The job market is already hard enough. And so the last thing you should have to worry about is being treated unkindly. That is the end of this whole saga. The email was real. The invitation to interview was real. The company is not real. I thought that
Somebody said, I don't know if they believe the story. It's true. It's actually true. The ShadeRoom actually picked it up and investigated as well. Here's a clip of the ShadeRoom's post. The full video is on their YouTube channel. Shout out to Justin over at the ShadeRoom. Here is that his name, Justin? Did I say that right? Hold on. What happened? What happened to the video? Oh, okay, hold on. Trying to make it big for y'all. Okay, there you go.
Review that just didn't go left. It went viral.
I get on at 11.
Y'all know the drill. Copyright disclaimer on Section 107 of the Copyright Act. Allowance is made for what? Fair use. Fair use. Fair use. Now,
A job interview that just didn't go left. It went viral.
I get on at 11. The interviewer got on probably about 11:03 and immediately is like, hey, I'm actually not in the office today. So like, can we push your interview to 12?
What happened next? Joan says she never saw it coming at all.
I'm like trying to look at my calendar. I'm like, wait, maybe I could do it this time. It just wasn't working. And so I was like, you know what? It's okay. Totally don't worry about it. I'll just go on the Calendly link and just reschedule myself at a time that works. He hangs up. I check my email and I see that I've gotten an email from this HR manager hiring person. And I open the email and the first thing I see is Dear Chimp.
Immediate reaction when you saw Dear Chimp.
I was floored, honestly. I don't think that I have ever experienced that blatant of racism in my life.
She says she did email them back to let them know she was no longer interested.
They then responded to me again, still being racist, still being.
I know y'all say y'all don't believe it, but I have copies of the actual emails, and then she showed like where the address, the mailing address originated from, and it was from their company email address. So I don't know if they were spoofing the company email or what, but they did.
Disrespectful. And then also pretty much saying like, we're not one of those like DEI diversity driven companies.
She is a content creator with a following, so it wasn't long before her post went viral.
I have had some people that are saying that I'm being dramatic. I'm having some people that are saying that I'm milking the situation to grow my social media. And I'm like, honestly, y'all don't really understand like content creation and influencer life, because like going viral for this doesn't even serve me.
I do want you to remember this because we did reach out to them earlier this week. They then changed their story and had a completely different version of what happened.
The company is, I guess, somewhat harassing me now. They continue to send me unfounded random emails. And I guess they think that I can't tell that it's from them.
See, the email came from Nexish. It's Nexesh. So I know y'all looking up another name, but there's the email address right there. She proved where it came from.
If I click the email address,
Is it from that HR email?
It is. So whoever it is changed their name.
We hit the company up and they sent us one of the wildest statements I've ever seen. You're going to want to stick around for that.
Oh, I need to go to the shade room and see what the statement was. I need to go to the shade room and see what the statement was. I want to see now. Hold on, y'all. Let's go see. It's on YouTube. You said I usually click the name to make sure the email address is legit. Okay, and her email address said it was legit. That's what it was on there. Hold on, the shade room. Then somebody said she need to go work for her daddy. Her daddy is deceased. Okay, but he was a prominent attorney in Atlanta. So stop being smart in the chat. Okay, condolences to their family. Hold on. Actually, Phaedra used to work for her dad. Sure did. Hold on. What is it? The shade room videos. There it is, LinkedIn. So y'all know the drill. Copyright disclaimer in section 107 of the Copyright Act. Allowance is made for what? Fair use. Okay, we done went through all that. We need to scroll to the we need to see what the statement look like. Here goes the statement they said the shade room. Hold on.
Nexish to shut down their Instagram page completely. They did, however, share this statement to the public on LinkedIn. Quote, "It has come to our attention that one of our HR employees directed racial remarks toward a Black woman. Upon learning of the incident, we conducted a thorough internal investigation. As a result, the employee in question has been terminated. We do not tolerate racism, discrimination,
Not they put a statement out, child, towards a Black woman.
or any form of dehumanizing behavior from anyone at any level of our organization. To the Black community and to
the Black community. Oh Lord, sound like Cardi B talking about to the Black African Americans.
everyone affected by this incident, we are deeply sorry. You deserve better, and we failed in our duty to protect and uphold your dignity."
I do want you to remember this because we did reach out to them earlier this week. They then changed their story and had a completely different version of what happened. Also, roommates, I just want to take some time to just thank you for watching TSA.
Okay, hold on. I want to see a statement. Thank you, roommates, for watching. Shout out to the Shade Room. Y'all know the drill. Copyright disclaimer, section 107. Okay, we went through all that. Then we went to the personal note from Allison. Is this the statement they sent to Shade Room? We saw that. Okay, that was when they were saying that the man had been terminated. We talked about that. Hold on. And what's this? This is the company email. I mean, that's the company website right there. Allegedly, the future is AI. Is your school ready? Nexesh. Okay. Let's see what else we got in here. Hold on. Hold on.
They're actually like Chat GPT photos. So it seems like this entire company is some sort of shell that was created to pretty much prey on people.
We did look at the Nexish site ourselves, which from the outside looks generic, but normal. When we did search the name Nexish in the state of Delaware's Division of Corporations database, I found no company of that name is registered in the state, despite the
I love me a little investigative journalism. Okay.
fact that the website says it is based there and in India. Also, the address listed,
Lord, it's in India. They stealing her information.
it has no tenants under the name Nexish.
At this point, I'm thankful that I didn't move forward and give them any of my personal information. I don't know what their end game is, right? I don't know if they just want to prey on Black people because they're racist and they just, are using this to, I don't know, interview Black people and, just use racial slurs. I don't know if eventually they would have asked me for money for something and, that was their end game. I don't know exactly, of course, like what kind of scam it is that they're running, but it is very clear that this is not a legitimate opportunity and it is.
She seems like a very smart young lady. Hold on, let's see what they sent to the Shade Room. Y'all go watch the full video over there on the shaderoom.com.
Racist emails. Here's what it says, quote, "Dear Justin, Nexish categorically denies all allegations made against the company. The screenshots shared by Miss Allison have been examined and are AI generated and fabricated. We're also prepared to demonstrate this and will be..."
Not they calling her a liar. Not they calling her a liar. And then that's from the same person that sent her the email, the Sophia Hale person. Not they call her a liar, and it's from the same person. Lord, this is a mess. Hold on.
Pursuing appropriate legal action against the spread of misinformation. Regarding Miss Allison specifically, during the interview, Miss Allison appeared visibly intoxicated, drunk, and was the first to behave in an unprofessional manner.
Not they said the lady was drunk. She don't look drunk to me. Oh, that's so messy. Oh, they trying to say, she was a Black drunk lady at the interview.
Toward our interviewer. The interview was rescheduled at that time, and she was subsequently not selected. It is our assessment that the current campaign against Nexish is retaliatory in nature, stemming from this rejection. Nexish is a company that respects individuals of all races, backgrounds, and communities. We are proud to have colleagues from the African American community and every other background as part of our team. Our hiring decisions are solely based on merit and talent, nothing else. Following an internal review of the matter, personnel changes were made within our HR department. This was a result of our own due diligence and our own commitment to maintaining the integrity of our organization. We do not share internal business operations or details with external parties. However, we want to be clear, Nexish is a legitimate, reputable business, and we will not allow bad faith actors to damage what we have built, end quote. Now, I followed that email up asking how they can prove that those emails that Allison received were AI generated. They told me that, quote, our AI forensic report and system report.
They emails are AI. I told you it looked like AI when I first read it.
Reports shows that, but they never showed that to us. In the meantime, Allison Jones denies that profusely. She says it's simply not true.
I don't believe that she wasn't drunk at the thing. They be nasty. It's probably some fake email address. Now they trying to smear her reputation because they know that the Shade Room is somewhat of a legitimate outlet. That is messed up. You said they probably wrote that while laughing. Okay, they don't care. They don't care. They knew that they was gonna read it online, child.